Rise and shine here at 6 o'clock. It is finally Friday. We have made it to the weekend. Jason and Alicia here with you.
And next week's 7-day forecast is really looking to cool down, which I think is much needed relief, Ben, after this heat wave we've been dealing with.
Yeah, 95 yesterday. That's the second warmest we've been so far this summer. A little cooler today, but still pretty hot. But the humidity will take a noticeable dip. We'll talk more about that in a second. Totally dry out there this morning. We are not expecting a whole lot of thunder activity today. The big weather story over the weekend is this guy right here. Slow moving low pressure system today bringing heavy rain over parts of North and South Dakota, and over the weekend steady rain moving into the Twin Cities metro. Much of Minnesota and Wisconsin looking at significant rains, especially on Sunday. Right now it's 68 degrees. Still feels a little muggy outside, but the trend will be for the dew point to slowly drop during the day today. A bright day, less humid, but still pretty summer-like. Temperatures still near 90 degrees. We will talk about cooler temperatures and just how much rain we could be looking at this weekend coming up. First, let's get a look at your traffic. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning. We're taking a live look right now at Richfield 35W, where it will be closed this weekend. So we'll talk more about the 35W weekend closure, both for south and northbound lanes. It'll be Friday night to Monday morning. We'll talk more about some of those details and also some detour options when I'm back in just a bit. Alicia and Jason.
All right, we'll check back soon. Thank you, Megan. Well, hey, if you do have any weekend getaway plans, going to cabin country, planning a road trip today, it's going to cost you more to get there.
Yeah, prices at the pump are now the highest they've been in 9 months. CC is live in Minneapolis, where in some gas stations, those prices are pushing the $4 mark, CC.
Yeah, you're right. We're here at a Holiday off of Industrial Boulevard here in Minneapolis, and the price $3.89. But we've also been driving around Minneapolis and have seen prices sitting at $3.99 too, which is beating out the national average. Take a look here at AAA's website, and you'll see that a couple of hours ago they released new gas prices. The national average is $3.83. Looking at Ramsey and Hennepin County, both are above the national average. You'll pay about $3.86 in Ramsey and $3.85 in Hennepin. So why is this happening? Experts blame higher crude oil costs and recent extreme heat, with some areas seeing triple digits. Refineries are only designed to function at up to 95 degrees, so it's impacted production and now causing a trickle-down effect. So back here in Minnesota, when I was actually doing some digging around this morning, I found that Wadena, Martin, and Dodge counties are reporting prices at $3.90 if you live in those areas of the state. But it's not all bad news here. AAA did come out recently with some tips on how you could save some money at the pump. We'll share a few of those in 30 minutes. Guys.
We need it. All right, Cece, thank you.
Well, this morning we now know the names of the Minnesota State Patrol troopers involved in the deadly shooting on I-94 earlier this week. Ken Erdahl has the details.
We know the names of the 3 troopers involved in the traffic stop and deadly shooting of Ricky Cobb II on I-94 early Monday morning. The BCA says Ryan Londrigan, a trooper with 1.5 years of law enforcement experience, was the one who fired the fatal shots from the passenger side of Cobb's vehicle. Trooper Brett Seide was on the other side of the car at the time. He has 2 years experience. According to the BCA, the 3rd trooper is identified as Garrett Erickson, who has 3 years experience. All 3 troopers are now on administrative leave, which is standard policy.
An update this morning on the 2 Fargo police officers who were shot in the line of duty last month. Fargo police say that officers Andrew Dotis and Tyler Hawes continue to recover. They say Officer Dotis is in serious but stable condition, and his family says he was recently able to walk without a walker. Meanwhile, police say Officer Hawes continues to improve and is focusing on getting stronger every day.
Right now, the search continues for a 62-year-old man who went missing on a lake in White Bear Township more than 24 hours ago. Family members say Mark Lowell was on a pontoon with his girlfriend Wednesday night on Bald Eagle Lake. He went into the water to get something out of it and started struggling before going under, according to police. Several agencies are helping in this search.
We have a sad update about a crash between an ambulance and a motorcycle in Blaine last month. The ambulance was responding to an emergency on Highway 65 when it hit Jeff and Laura Egg in the intersection of 109th Avenue on July 22nd. Laura unfortunately passed away a few days later, according to the family in a GoFundMe post. Jeff has also been slowly recovering, but his family says he has a long way to go. Former President Donald Trump pled not guilty to federal charges, accusing him of trying to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Trump faces 4 counts, including conspiracy to defraud the United States and conspiracy against the right to vote. The next hearing is set for August 28th, and a trial date is also expected to be set as well.
This morning, we're waiting to hear how an elderly woman is doing after crashing into a restaurant in Minneapolis. The property manager for Los Ocampo restaurant on Lake Street says the woman suffered a medical emergency when she crashed her Subaru into the storefront there. Employees say no one inside was hurt. The restaurant expects to hear from a building and food inspector to see if they can reopen.
This weekend, the Robbinsdale community is holding a benefit to help the family of Emily Girding. She was killed last month by a speeding driver. Her husband, John, was seriously hurt and was recently released from the hospital, but he still has a long road to recovery. That benefit is tomorrow night from 6 to 9 p.m.
Another iconic Minneapolis restaurant is closing its doors. The owners of Psycho Susie's announced their last day will be August 19th. The owner says it's time to retire after 20 years in business. Psycho Susie's is the latest of several longtime restaurants that have closed in recent months. Hospitality Minnesota says it's not part of a downturn, but more of a transition in the restaurant industry, with a new batch of young entrepreneurs starting restaurants.
I was having a conversation with a chef yesterday, 20 or 25 years in the kitchen as a chef, and came through the pandemic with his restaurant, and he didn't own it, but he said, I was tired. I wanted something different. I just was tired.
Hospitality Minnesota says new owners are also looking for smaller spaces to start their restaurants so they can control costs with fewer tables and less staff. The National Restaurant Association says the industry is adding jobs and revenue every month, but they're still not back to pre-pandemic levels.
Well, Minnesota, it is now official. You can drive down Prince Highway in Chanhassen. Prince Rogers Nelson Memorial Highway markers were installed by MnDOT about 24 hours ago along Highway 5 near Paisley Park. And if you drive through Chanhassen, it'll be hard to miss. The sign is purple instead of the usual green.
The signs are so big. They look small on the side of the road when you're driving past them. They're huge.
They're gigantic.
Wow.
Yes. Lime is back in St. Paul. 200 e-bikes will be ready to rent later this month. Right now, electric scooters are available in St. Paul from Lime and Spin, but there hasn't been a bike sharing program here in the city since 2018.
Good day.